Welcome back to the Black Friday sessions, guys. I am Herman. I have Mike and Carlinn here today. I'm going to introduce them in a second. So I want to let you guys know what the stream is actually about. So we have very aggressive Black Friday deals going on at the moment. So if you want to see those, visit your local retailer. There's deals up to 12,500 Rand on savings. So yeah, we are basically dedicating these live streams to the equipment that's part of this aggressive deal. And today we're specifically talking about vlogging and content creation. So just so that you guys know, down here I actually have the stream going on. So I'm managing the scenes and stuff, and I'm managing the camera angles here also, as well as the presentation. So if I look down here, it's all because of this stream. So it's not because I'm rude. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the raffle draw. Tonight is our first raffle draw evening. So Mike and Carlinn, they will do the raffle draw for us. We'll get to that a little bit later into the presentation, so stay tuned for that. And then of course we have another one that's happening on Friday, on tomorrow. So with these raffle draws, all you have to do is you just have to register on alphauniverse-mea.com. You can see the link below. You just register for one of these activities, and then you stand a chance to win one of two 2,000 Rand vouchers. Then the last thing is, this is also a Q&A session. So we are live on 2 Facebook platforms, YouTube, and then also on Alpha Universe. So if you are watching from any of those platforms, drop us a question there. I'll allocate them to Mike and Carlinn. If they are specifically allocated to one of them, just also put it into your comment, and then I'll hand over to them. So for now, I'm gonna be pointing the camera towards them. They can introduce themselves and we'll jump into the presentation. Take it away.
Hi everyone, my name is Carlinn and I'm a travel and lifestyle influencer, content creator, and of course vlogger. And yeah, basically I travel the world with my partner in crime who's sitting next to me over here.
What's up guys, my name is Mike Eloff, and as Carlinn said, I'm a content creator, influencer as well, vlogger. We're all the things, as well as Sony Alpha SA ambassadors, which we're so super stoked to be. So we are also very happy to be here today to talk to you guys everything about content creation, vlogging, all of the things that we love doing, because that is essentially what we do for a living. We go out, we create content for brands, and then while we're actually creating the content, we do vlogs and we create all sorts of epic memories for you guys to really watch behind the scenes of what we get up to. So yeah, I'm excited about today's session with Herman, and also excited to give away some cool stuff later.
Awesome. So guys, I'm gonna start this actually with a bunch of questions that I've prepared. So I'm just gonna switch over to the presentation so that you can also get the handles of Mike and Carlinn, and then I'm gonna jump into the questions just to get those questions going. So the first question, what makes Sony 5 steps ahead in this vlogging game for you guys? I don't know who's gonna answer it first.
Okay, all right. Okay, I'll take on this one. So what makes Sony 5 steps ahead for us in terms of vlogging? Well, there's a few things, but I'm going to focus on the top 5 for now, actually. So the first thing, and the most important thing, if you're going to be a vlogger, what is the most important thing? You want your face to be in focus. And Sony's autofocusing system and autoface focusing eyeball tracking is next level. So you guys are a lot ahead in terms of the game, in terms of face tracking over there. Then the second thing is definitely got to be stabilization. All right. When it comes to vlogging and content creating and all sorts of video stuff, you want your footage to be nice and stable. All right. And with all of the new releases that Sony's been doing to the steady shot, active steady shot, and all sorts of stabilization for your steady shot in the cameras, and the improvements that they've been making to it, every single time it's just getting better and better. And that way, when it comes to post-production and editing, you don't have to worry too much about stabilizing your footage. Then the third thing, I think it's definitely got to do with the fact that Sony's come to the party in terms of really making it easy for vloggers to get out there these days. And we'll focus a lot more on some of the units that we're going to be talking about today, but one of them is accessories. We'll go into this a little bit later, but this is really one of the reasons why Sony is 1 step or 5 steps ahead of the game, because you've got cool accessories like that hand grip, and it's got so many cool things that you can actually do with it. Then, what's the fourth thing?
Oh, there's so many things.
There's so many things. Okay, so now we've covered 3. All right, so then the fourth thing.
Just in terms of color as well, the camera's color, especially like one of the units we're going to be talking about is ZV-1, and the colors on that is so amazing. Someone like me, that's not a professional in any way with video. The color is so great. Color science on the Sony ZV-1 is so great that I could basically just take it off camera, put it in any kind of software editing, and use it just like that. I didn't even have to grade it. So
it's perfect. I love it. The color that's coming out of the ZV-1 is incredible, actually. And then I think the fifth thing that is probably the amount of cameras that is available to people out there. So it ranges from your cameras that are aimed at your amateur vloggers, people that are just getting into it, and it ranges all the way up to super professional gear that you can use for vlogging and creating an epic cinematic vlog.
Sony is just like, they're really focusing on vloggers, which is so cool, just coming out with all these new things all the time.
Yeah.
So they're definitely focusing on it, which is why I think they have so many cool features and all of their vlogging cameras coming out.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to be talking about the ZV-1 a little bit later in today's talk, and we'll go into a little bit more detail as to why that is such a great vlogging camera. But today we're going to be focusing on a couple of units. I think I'll let Hamran actually focus on the units that we're going to be speaking about. But I'm excited to tell you about what is cool and what's the differences between them for content creation and vlogging and things like that.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm actually going to jump into the presentation here because some of these we actually have in the presentation as well. So there's another question that I actually have here. And that is, I think, a question that many people actually have to ask Mike and Carlinn. And this is, where did Sony make the mark in the career of content creation and vlogging for you guys specifically?
I'm going to let Carlinn answer this one, actually.
Okay, awesome. This is actually kind of my story as well, how we fell in love with Sony. So a few years ago, Sony actually contacted me and they asked me, I was already an influencer, and they asked me, well, do you want to test out a camera? And I think it was the A6100.
It was the A6100.
Yeah, so it was, and I was like, okay, cool. Never played around with this camera before. Sounds awesome. I'm going to try it out. So we actually got the camera and we did our first shoot. So you guys can see the photos from that. And what blew my mind and what sold me like almost immediately, I think it's one of the first things I said to Mike, was as soon as we figured out everything, I was like, every single photo is sharp. So that's a problem we had. We take so many photos all the time on shoots, and you go through the photos and you're like, oh, this was my favorite one, but it's blurry. Yeah. So the first thing I noticed when I went through the like 600 photos we had taken on the like 2 locations we went to, is that every single photo was sharp. And it was just mind-blowing. We had a wide-angle lens. I also never played around with wide-angle lens, so that's probably why we have a 16-35 on our main camera body all the time now. Fell in love with wide-angle, fell in love with Sony, and after that I was just like, I'm ready for Sony. And since then, actually all our content, our jobs that we've gotten, everything has just gone all the way up. So there's just no turning back for me.
The quality of, you're right, the quality of our content that we started putting out there has really helped us get more jobs, because now we're putting out content where the quality of the images is super sharp, or we put up a reel and the video is really, really good quality of, of the actual video quality itself. So brands look at that and they're like, oh wow, we love what Mike and Carlinn are doing. And that gets us more and more jobs. And it saves us then having to spend time at home and emailing people, please, can we work with you, this and that and the other. So now we're getting a lot of people actually coming to us and working with, and it's like word of mouth jobs, if you want to call it that.
It just made me happier to be a photographer and to shoot and to edit photos, because I'm the one always editing. So I love that. I loved it. And since then I was just like, Sony is it for me. So that's how we fell in love with it.
Yeah. Actually, wait, before we go on, one more thing. One more thing. I think I'm just going to say this, is that when we first took our first photographs with the A6100, we were like, okay, cool, this shot is pretty dark. Put it into Lightroom, started lightening it up, and the dynamic range on Sony, it just makes me happy, like Carlinn said. It just, you've got so much to work with, so it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's actually one of those things we always talk about to other people.
Like, what's great about Sony? Dynamic range.
Awesome. And then I've got another question here. I think it's also a pretty big one. Favorite vlogging moment in the Sony time? What is your favorite vlogging moment?
Oh man, okay, Herman, there's so many vlogging moments, but okay, there's really too many. Okay, but I did put a couple of pictures together, and I prepared something over here for you guys today. But so the first epic moment for me personally for vlogging was was it last year that we were in Sri Lanka?
I think it was last year. It feels so long ago.
It does,
everything.
Yeah. So we got invited to go to Sri Lanka to go and help pump up tourism over there. So we went with the tourism board, and it was fantastic. In fact, there was a whole bunch of influencers and content creators over there, and we were split up into different groups, and off we went. And each group got to do different things. And one of the things that we got to do was we got to fly from a military base in, it was called Jaffna.
Yeah.
Jaffna, which is right at the very top of Sri Lanka. We got to fly in a plane from a military base all the way through to Sigiriya. And just flying into Sigiriya, if you know anything about Sri Lanka, you'll know that Sigiriya's got this crazy cool rock. But aside from that, if you look at the photographs that I've got over here, I got to fly a plane, and the guy that actually was flying us is one of the top, what do you call it, pilots, instructors in Sri Lanka. So he taught me how to fly the plane. I was flying that plane by myself, full manual for quite a while. And it was just such an incredible experience.
The cool thing about that was they told us we're not allowed to have anything on us at all in the plane. Everything goes in the back. It was such a tiny plane they actually had to weigh us and split us up. So we got to at least fly together. 2 of us at the back, 2 in the front, and they said, no, you can't take anything with you. But we actually had the RX.
It was the RX 100 Mark 7.
100 Mark 7 with us, and we were just like, just holding it, like, over here, it's fine. And once we were inside, it's like, it doesn't weigh anything anyway. So we were so, like, happy to have that camera with us because we couldn't take our main camera inside there with us. So just capture these moments of Mike flying in the clouds and just going over that rock that we were talking about that had, like, temples on top of it. It was just so cool. And actually having the camera with us to film that was insane. That was definitely a memorable moment.
Definitely.
And I'm so jealous that you got to fly.
I know. They kind of like split us around. They were like, okay, who wants to sit in the front? And I was like, well, the girls can sit in the front. And they were like, nah, you're the boy, you can go. We know you want to. We know you want to. And I was like, so badly wanted to get into the front of this plane. And it was just like my dream anyway. So I got to sit there and I got to fly this plane. And it was super epic.
They're wonderful.
Now, speaking of being up in the air and epic vlogging memories, now there is another epic vlogging memory. It also involves being up in the air. This time we were in a chopper and we went to Mozambique to go to a private island called Philalia Private Island. Really, really epic campaign that we did last year as well, with the actual lodge on the island, as well as Elig. And we flew over there, landed, and then we jumped in a chopper. But now our chopper pilot, man, he was like the chopper pilot from what's the movie called?
The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. If anyone has watched that, that guy had a few beers though before he flew. I don't think that guy had beers, but he had
maybe a couple of runners.
he had the same vibe. So
anyway, so
it was interesting.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. So in the chopper with us, there was this newlyweds British couple. So they sat at the back and I was sitting in the front again. Okay. I did full shotgun on this. Anyway, so he said to us, okay, cool. So I'm going to take you on a cool flight over to the island. If you guys want to do some flips, how cool are you? And we were like, yeah, cool. The crazier the better. Let's go. So, oh man, little did we know what he was going to actually get up to. He took this chopper super, super low, and we went really close to the beach, and we went up, and it was just fantastic. Anyway, so here's a quick little segment that I put together from a vlog. Now, if you want to watch the full vlog from Pemba, you can actually go onto my YouTube channel, Life of Mike ZA. So you can check it out there. But for now, here's a quick little secret to check this out.
Okay, perfect. So now we are going into one last question from me, and then we're going to start taking questions from the public. So if you don't have questions yet, shame. But we will be covering more. So I have one more question actually. Let me just go in here. Okay, so last question from my end. Okay, and this is more open-ended question. Okay, so we're talking a lot about vlogging, content creation, and specifically that. Now we're going all the way from like R4 down to the brand new ZV-1. In this, let's say, evolution, what can you see, like, what is Sony's focus in terms, vloggers, content creation? I think it's specifically towards that, but what can you notice from this evolution? What do you think Sony is doing moving forward?
Sony's definitely, from my side, I can say that I think Sony's definitely moving more in the direction of video, which is, I think, the direction that a lot of brands these days are actually moving in as well. Because, you can take a photograph and you can tell a story with a photograph, but you can tell such a beautiful story with a video if you know what you're actually doing. And Sony's giving all content creators out there the tools with adding some cool features into it, and for vloggers, adding flip screens that come out to the side, all of this stuff. So they're really gearing towards video. And from my own personal opinion, I don't know what you say.
No, definitely. I've been seeing the trend for quite a while now, and especially now during lockdown, people want video. Everything is about video, and they want to watch people as well. It's like vloggers and things that are relatable. It's such a trend right now, and with Instagram bringing reels, everything is just pointing towards being really video focused. And Sony understands that, and that's why Sony is so ahead of the game, because they just bring these things out, and I'm like, what? It's like things that I haven't even thought about, but now I need it.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is amazing. So every time something new comes out, even like the ZV-1 now, I looked at the features and I was like, what? This is so cool. This is going to help me so much. And I didn't even know that it was going to help me. And now I have it. And yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, like you say, like they're moving more towards like reels and things like that. Did you know that with most Sony cameras these days, the ones that come out, if you flip the camera to the side and you film in vertical, boom, when you download your footage, it's vertical. Because Sony understands that there's a lot of video content, vertical video content being consumed by everybody out there. You pick up your phone, what do? You look at your phone like this, and it's easier to look at your phone as a full real estate for vertical. Sony understands that, they've added that feature, and that's just like one of so many really, really, really specifically. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. So actually we have a bunch of questions and comments here. Before we go into that, I just want to welcome those that only tuned in now. So welcome to the stream, the Black Friday stream. So just so that you guys know the Black Friday deals, check them out with your retailers. There's savings up to 12,500 Rand. I'm not going to mention all the values. There's a billion of them. It's a very aggressive one. So get in there, and it's all November long. So today we're specifically talking about vlogging and content creation and the gear around that. We also have some presentation around it. And then also I want to let you know later today, we also have our first raffle draw for the 2,000 Rand voucher. So if you register on the alphauniverse-mea.com, you stand a chance of winning this 2,000 Rand voucher, which is obviously on top of whatever Black Friday deal you'd like to take advantage of. And then last thing, Q&A. We love Q&A. We're going to be doing some presentation here for a short while, and then we're going straight into Q&A. So questions around the gear, questions around the career, questions about starting, whatever it is that you want to ask them, this is a really good time. So I'm going to jump into some comments that I can see here from Facebook. Matt Masson is saying, yeah, Sony represent definitely. And then Andre, Sup, Herman, Carlin, and Mike.
What's up, Andre?
And then we have Hendrik Lau. Mike and Carlin, Sony workshops convinced me to switching over to Sony. Best camera.
Hendrik! I know Hendrik. Hendrik has been to quite a few of our workshops, so thank you very much for tuning in, Hendrik. I hope we can actually do some live workshops again sometime soon so that you can actually come and hang out with us, because we miss your face.
And then we have a question here. I think you might answer it later, so it depends on you really.
Yep.
Which one do you prefer, the ZV-1, the RX100 Mark 7, or the A7C, the new one? So I don't know if you want to answer that question now.
I think we'll wait.
You're going to have to wait. You're going to have
It's
to
part
hang
of the
around.
surprise at the end.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, then we're going to jump into the rest of this presentation. I'm just going to go switch over to it quickly. There we go. Okay, so you guys are up now. Now it's no longer me.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, awesome. So the three cameras we're going to be focusing on today, you want to line them up for us?
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about 3 different units today. And, well, 2 of them are already mentioned now in the comments. So we're going to be speaking about the A6400, also the A6100, just because that was the first Sony gear that we ever got in our hands. Then we're also going to be chatting about the RX100 Mark 7, my little nifty pocket rocket. I love that camera. And then as well as the brand spanking new Sony ZV-1. Oh no, I can't show it to you in my hands over here because we're currently streaming. I have no space with it. So those are the three cameras that we're going to be talking to you guys about today. And we're going to be kind of working into which camera is better for content creation, which is better for vlogging, and which is kind of like a hybrid.
Yeah.
So
all these cameras you can basically do both with, but we've used all three for different things. So the A6400 we've gone to Egypt with, and we did a whole bunch of vlogging with it, and we also created some content. We had the RX, we took it to Sri Lanka, did some epic vlogs with it, and recently we got the ZV-1, and we took that because we couldn't travel internationally, which is awesome. We got to do local stuff with it. So we have a little bit of experience with all the cameras, and they've all been really exciting, but they all have different things that we're going to chat about, so you guys can decide which is the best for you.
yeah, actually, that's a good question. So I think we'll move into doing something now with Herman, but here's a question for you guys. So go onto the comments and drop us what you think is the best camera out of the three cameras that we have over here. All right, so which one do you think is for content creation? Which do you think is for vlogging? And which is like a hybrid? You guys let us know, and we'll come back to your answers in just a little while, and we'll let you know what we think as well.
Wonderful. Okay, so while you guys type those questions and answers specifically to their question, I have another question here from Andre. It's actually a pretty interesting question. Let me just switch to the full screen here. So the question is, each industry and profession has their own challenges that the public does not necessarily know of. What are your biggest challenges that you've faced as vlogging, as vloggers and content creators? Give us the juice on this, the juicy story.
Okay.
Ooh, there's lots of juicy
We
stories.
have some stories. Okay, so first off, the no sleep. Okay,
Yeah.
that's just one of the things, but I'll take that. Secondly, when you're traveling, when you're a vlogger like we are, and you always have the camera out and about and up, it is quite a challenge when you are around a lot of people. So our last trip we did, international trip, before lockdown, was going to Egypt. And we didn't know how crazy difficult it would be to move around the equipment we had with us into the different areas. I'd never actually thought about it before. And just going to the pyramids or going to temples, we got questioned about our cameras, and we didn't even have a lot. We didn't even have a gimbal with us.
Yeah.
We got questioned because we were doing video specifically. They thought we were doing commercials.
Yeah.
So that's like definitely a challenge we face, is vlogging in public.
Yeah.
It's very easy to go up a mountain and you're alone and you're vlogging. Cool, there's no one there to ask you any questions. What are you doing? All of that stuff. But as soon as you travel internationally, you have to have all your paperwork for all your gear. When you're going to places, it's always a hassle, and we're always carrying stuff. So we have muscle.
Yeah.
That's why we go to gym.
Yeah.
To carry our gear.
Yeah, and to hold vlogging cameras up as well.
Exactly.
Actually, well, we don't need to go to the gym too much anymore because the vlogging cameras are a lot lighter now. But yeah, going back onto being a vlogger in public and vlogging and having people around you. So that can be pretty tough sometimes as well, just depending on your situation. Also, sometimes it can be pretty loud. So when you're vlogging to the camera, maybe you can't really hear what's going on. But also, Sony has come to the party as well with some of the new stuff that they've come to with the ZV-1. So you can actually hear what's going on in loud situations. But yeah, those are definitely some of the challenges that we face as vloggers and content creators, is missioning around, and as soon as you whip out a camera and hold it out in front of you, it's obviously going to bring the attention of whoever's around, and they go like, what's that guy doing over there?
You get used to it though. In the beginning, like right now, I'm talking way back when we started,
Yeah.
I was really nervous, and every time Mike would take camera out and someone would be somewhere, I'd be like, put it away, put it away. I'm so embarrassed. But you definitely get over that, and now I'm like, I don't care, I have the best job in the world.
Yeah. But just, if you are going to travel, top tip, like Colin mentioned about the paperwork, go and get all of your gear registered by SARS, so when you come back into the country, you don't have any issues with them saying, oh, but you bought this camera.
You can do that at the airport.
You do it at the airport,
You
yeah,
have it with
straight
you
away.
all the time.
And then also, if you're going to be going to countries like Egypt, where they are pretty hectic about filming and things like that, which they have to be kind of thing as well. So, but just make sure that you kind of do a little bit of research before you go there as well. And it'll save you the hassle of maybe running into some guy that's going, hey, you need to have a proper filming permit to be over here and wanting to throw you into jail. You know, so you don't want to have to run into...
Thank goodness that has never happened.
Yeah, that's never happened to us before. But we have had lots of people coming up to us and telling us that we need to pay big fees and stuff for being there with gear. And all we were filming with was like an RX. So yeah.
I have to be honest, I was hoping that we're going to get a prison story or something.
Not yet, thank goodness.
Not yet, touch wood.
So I'm going to give us one more question. Should we do something fun after this, or we're going to wait a little bit?
Yeah, we can do something fun, I think.
Okay, so before we go into it, we've got another question here from Lloyd. I'm looking to upgrade from my Nikon D5300 to all-rounded video and stills camera, so I think something more hybrid. Which Sony would you recommend, middle to low bracket, that would still give great output quality? I'm not sure if you want to answer that question now, because I know that you're going to go into more things, because they're specific, or Lloyd's specifically asking you, and your favorite Sony model.
Well, let's chat a bit about the cameras first,
Yeah.
and then they'll start to understand what, and then he'll get his answer, from that. I think we'll cover it.
We'll cover that. If we haven't covered your question by the end of the chat, we will do more Q&A towards the end of this live stream. So if we haven't answered your question, Andre, please, it was Andre, yes?
Lloyd.
I beg your pardon, Lloyd. Please get back to us and say you haven't answered my question yet, and we will definitely answer it, okay? But yeah, I'll tell you what my favorite model is a little bit later.
Okay, before we go into the raffle draw, just for those of you that only joined us now, welcome to the stream. So this stream is specific, well, all these streams this week is actually dedicated to the Black Friday that we have got going. It's all November long. So the deals are really aggressive. Go check it out with your retailers. There's savings up to 12,500 Rand. So yeah, get in there with the retailers. This is obviously until stocks last. And then I want to let you know what we're going to do now is also going to happen tomorrow. So you can sign up and register on the Sony Alpha Universe-MEA.com for these activities. And then you stand a chance to win a 2,000 Rand voucher. That is obviously on top of whatever Black Friday deal that you'd like to use this voucher on. So this is obviously specifically for Sony product. So we're going to go into that now. I'm going to let them do it because I think I stressed too much for it.
All right. So
Guys,
what do we have over here? Okay, so just so you know that there are some names inside here. Grab all of them off.
Yo, am I getting all of them?
Okay. So these are all the people that registered on the Alpha Universe. So they qualify for 2,000 Rand towards their next Sony purchase. Okay. No, wait, throw them.
Oh, there we go. Mix.
If you didn't do this tonight, make sure that you do it tomorrow so that you can win tomorrow's raffle. Okay.
Guys, you're gonna be sad. I want to win.
Me too. Okay, who's it gonna be? You pick.
Okay.
And the winner is.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, who is it? It is. That's the wrong side. Whoopsie. It's still the wrong side. It is. Cephas Suto. I hope I pronounced that right. Caiphus. Cephas Suto. Congratulations.
Everyone can try.
Wonderful. Okay, let me grab it here from Mike. Okay, so we will actually contact you tomorrow. I'm going to contact you. So we have something good for you. We'll send it to you, or if you're close, you can also come collect it here. Let me see if you maybe have put your city on here. No. So we'll probably send it to you. So there's a lucky packet thing for you. Cool stuff in there, not sweets. And then the 2,000 Rand voucher that will also say to you. Yeah, well, all the best for you, and well done. So now we're going to go back into the presentation. They're going to answer the question that they've asked. I don't really see comments here. Content creation here from Tristan, A6400. Vlogging ZV1 from Tristan also, and hybrid is RX100 Mark 7.
Okay, so say those again. Let's listen. So what did Tristan say?
So content creation, A6400, vlogging ZV1, and hybrid RX100.
We're not going to give it away yet. Let's chat about the cameras first.
Yeah. Let's chat about the cameras. Okay, I'm going to let you chat about them.
Okay, so we have the 3 or kind of 4 cameras we're chatting about, but I'm going to say A6400, the RX, and then the ZV1. So for me specifically, and for how we have used the cameras and how we felt using them, so the A6400 is a little bit bigger body. It weighs a bit more than the other 2 cameras. So personally for me, holding it up vlogging For Mike, it wasn't a problem. He did it in Egypt. But for me personally, it was a little bit more on the difficult side to vlog with that one. Still did it though. Epic video, epic footage. And then obviously camera quality, the photos, really, really good, okay? The RX was awesome because it was lighter. So I loved using the RX. Sri Lanka trip, all of that stuff we did. Loved using the RX. The only thing was the screen didn't flip out. So that was my only issue with that one. And then the ZB-1 screen flips out completely and it's really light as well. It's actually, I think it's almost the same as the RX.
So it's actually surprisingly lighter than the RX 100 Mark 7. It's like 3 or 4 grams lighter.
Oh, the ZB-1, yeah.
It's like 3 or 4 grams lighter.
So those are really similar, both really cool because for me, vlogging, I like something that's easy. So if I put it in my handbag, and I have a lot of small handbags, so I want something that I can pop in my handbag that I can just quickly pull out for vlogging. I don't have to think about it too much, you know, all of that stuff. So to me, the like difference between them is that the A6400 is more of a professional. Let's say you are an amateur going into professional. You want to get a little bit better video, a little bit better photos. You maybe just have a small compact camera. You want something with interchangeable lenses. You're going to move to that. You're going to buy that. If you want something a little bit more, you know, that'll give you a little bit more. RX to me is very much a middle ground. I know. What do you love doing with the RX when we're traveling?
Okay, so the RX. Now, what's great about the RX 100 Mark 7 is that this small little pocket rocket, believe it or not, it's got a 24 to 200 millimeter lens in it. Okay, 200 millimeters. All right, on the small little tiny little camera. All right, so that is why it's a premium compact because it's really got this 24 to 200 mils. And what do I love doing when I have this camera with me when we travel is pointing it out of airplane windows. Oh man, I have taken some of the most incredible photographs out of airplane windows. If you go through my Instagram, you'll be able to see some of those photographs. In fact, if you go just a little bit, you'll see a great 2 photographs that I took on a trip that we did earlier this year when we went to Egypt. We flew over Saudi Arabia. And first we flew over the coast. Who would have thought that? I would have never even thought that Saudi Arabia has this beautiful...
Looks like Maldives.
It's beautiful blue,
wow.
blue water, okay? And then when you fly over the country, you get to this area where it's deserts and there's red sand and there's mountains that are popping up. So yeah, it's nice to take photographs out of the windows. But yeah.
So the RX, awesome for photos, especially things like that. Mike is always sneaking it in places. And like we said earlier on as well, it was compact enough to sneak in on a little airplane with us. And we still got like epic photos that we posted on our Instagram and we gave to the tourism board. So epic photos and of course the vlogging. We did vlogging with it and it works like...
Yeah, it's cool. It also comes with a little hand grip. So, I mean, Sony has released this new hand grip, which we'll talk about in a little while. But the RX 100 Mark 6 and Mark 7, when we were rocking around with that, it also had a little hand grip on it, which was wired, which also made it really cool for vlogging. You can hold it out in front of you. Then you can flip the screen up and you can kind of see what's going on. It was fantastic. Really, really still love that camera. And whenever we go on trips, it's always in my pocket when I jump onto the airplane, believe it or not, okay? Not today though, because it was raining when we left Cape Town. But I do love that camera so much.
But yeah, so the RX definitely going both ways, in my opinion. And then the ZB-1, I feel like Sony really just brought that out for vloggers. They listened to absolutely everything that vloggers were talking about online, what they wanted in a little compact vlogging camera, and they just put it all in this tiny little thing. And I've been absolutely obsessed with it. You guys can see on my IGTV stories, I have put up 2 vlogs using it just because previously I was always like, oh, it's too much of an effort for me to vlog. But now, since I had this ZB-1, I have it in my pocket all the time. I just pull it out on the hand grip, start and stop it, and that's it. I don't even have to like put grading on it, and it has all the cool stuff that I need for vlogging. So that's definitely, if you want to be a vlogger, YouTuber, you want to stream stuff online, like all of that stuff, that is definitely a camera you should be looking at.
Yeah, so just retouching on kind of what Colin said over there and just recapping on those 3 cameras. So like Colin said, the A6100, A6400, that is a great camera for content creation as well as vlogging, but I would really like that camera as if you're going to be getting into photography and videography and you want to just take it to the next level. It's an APS-C crop, so it's a crop sensor, but it's perfect. It's great quality and it's epic. And what's great about it is that it's an interchangeable lens. So you can start off by getting the first little, maybe a stock lens, a kit lens on there, and then you can work up and build up your lens collection from there. So that when you do upgrade to something like maybe like an A7R4 or A7S3 or whatever it may be, like a bigger system like that, then you've got all of this glass that you can just simply put on because it all takes the E mount.
Yeah, it's also a good second camera to have.
Yeah.
Like, if you already have like one professional camera and you need a second camera for video shooting, whatever job you're doing, for us in content creation, it's always nice to have an extra camera, even if you just set it up to do some video from another angle, or if someone's taking some other photos, it's a great second camera to have as well.
It's awesome. And then, so we've already covered the RX100 Mark 7. That is definitely a hybrid. And then the ZV-1 is 100% vlogging camera and is definitely geared towards vloggers. And we'll go into that a little bit later. There was somebody that did mention though about the Sony A7C. So I will just throw that in there. It wasn't one of the cameras that we were going to talk about today, but since it was brought up, I will just talk about it a little bit. And we did have that with us on a recent trip. And I love it. It's a great little camera that Sony's added in. And what's fantastic about this is that it's a full frame camera as well. So if you want to move and be a little bit more professional, and have a entry level, or I wouldn't even call it entry level because this is such a fancy little camera that's full frame, then that would be the way to go.
And it looks really nice as well.
I know, I like that little grey stripe at the top. But we'll say more.
Yeah, you guys can go watch on the Sony Alpha Universe Mike's review on that camera if you want to know more.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about any of the other gear as well, always just feel free to drop either myself or Colin a DM on Instagram. If you don't know already, it's at Life of Mike ZA, or at Camp Spegel, or even the Palm Drive, which is our business account. So yeah.
So actually, they mentioned the A7C. Now I was actually going to ask the question because I feel like
jump the gun.
Yeah, we needed to put it in there. So just to let you guys know, the only two cameras that's not actually currently involved in the Black Friday deals is the A7S3 because of obviously it's new, and obviously because of the deal that we had with the pre-order, and then now the 7C with the 50mm that's literally coming free with the pre-order. So they are already on promotion, so jump in there for those. Also, I know Black Friday other deals, there's tons of deals. So if you're looking for some glass with A7C specifically, like almost all the lenses are on Black Friday deals. So actually we're going to jump into the presentation. Moving on, your favorite vlogging setup. So this is going into the question of Lloyd.
Okay. All right. So Lloyd, I'll answer your question now. So I have two favorite setups. The one is going to be the interchangeable lens setup, which would obviously be the A7C. And then the second, like no-brainer, 100% go-to vlogging setup.
My favorite setup.
Colin's favorite.
My little obsession.
Is the Sony ZV-1. Now, like I said, I can't show it to you guys what it actually looks like over here, but you can see it on the actual presentation slides itself.
Yeah.
It's a cool little camera and it's got a ton of features. Sony listened to vloggers. Vloggers asked for it. Sony, please give us a side flip screen. Please give it, and we got it. Okay. Little side flip screen pops out to the side. That is incredible for vloggers, okay? Just make sure that when you're vlogging, you don't look to the side because people will see it. It's just there to frame yourself up, okay? A little tip, all right?
Oh, you can use it for other things. It's fully articulating, so you can like move it everywhere, which is really, really cool as well if you're doing like looking down stuff.
Also, in fact, when we were on a trip now, I was using the Sony hand grip. Now this is great because it works well with most Sony cameras these days, okay? It's Bluetooth. You just have to connect it up with your camera itself. And once it's connected, you have a start and stop recording button over there. You have a photograph button, which if you've got your screen flipped out and you hit that, you've got 3, 2, 1. And you get that, but it's cool. And then also if your lens, like especially with the ZV-1, because you can zoom in and out, it's got 24-70mm lens on it, okay? You can zoom in and out while you're recording using this over here. And then you can also program your C1 button, which is awesome for the ZV-1. It's got a background defocus. By hitting that, poof, everything just automatically defocuses and you become the star of your vlog.
And it's a tripod.
Oh yes, of course. And it's a tripod. Sorry, and that's what I was actually going to get into in a little while. So as you can see, it flips out and it becomes a little tripod, so you can set it down.
That's so cool.
You can do time lapses on the Sony ZV-1 as well. It's got a built-in intervalometer, or you can do video lapses on it as well, or you can even use it's just the video lapses and the intervalometer that you can use, so you can set it down over there. Then, if you're using it for filming, all right, because you've got your fully articulating screen, you can put your camera on here, you can hold it in different ways, you can really put it into a full-on vlogging, filming setup, and you can really just like hold it in. There's so many things you can do with this little hand grip, okay? So if you're going to be getting the Sony ZV-1 on the Black Friday deal, make sure that you get the Vlogger kit as well, which comes with this, as well as an SD card. Because what's a vlogging camera without an SD card? It's a camera that doesn't record anything, okay? So you need a memory card to go inside there. So what better way to get yourself a memory card than buying a little kit that comes with this as well, and you can record it. So another great thing about the ZV-1, I spoke about this a little while ago, and that is when you are vlogging, you need your sound to be great. So the sound really focuses in on where the sound is coming from. So it knows where the sound is coming from, and it's always nice and crisp. If you're in windy situations, it comes with this cool little dead cat. It's not an actual dead cat, in case you didn't know. It's just a fluffy little thing, and that's its name. And it's got the little hot shoe mount on it, so it actually slips into the hot shoe itself, and then it sits over there nicely. Now, if you've got your own professional microphone, no problem. You can actually put that onto your ZV-1, and it's got a microphone jack on the side of it as well.
I don't even think you need the professional. Like,
no.
We were filming, and you know Cape Town, if you guys know Cape Town wind, always windy, and we were filming with that on, and really you could hardly hear it, and the sound was great just off camera.
Yeah.
So
actually, no. Do you remember when we were in the bush, and I said, "Come, let's do a quick test." All right. So we were on the back of a game drive, and on a game vehicle, and we were driving. Now game vehicles are open. There's no like anything on them. And we were driving, and I said, "Okay, come, Colin, I'm going to do a test." So I said, "So this is with the microphone, with the dead cat on." And then I took it off and I recorded with it. And I promise you the difference is incredible. It really just blocks out all of that wind. So
yeah.
for us, totally, the ZV-1 really is the best vlogging setup.
For all situations as well. It's such an easy camera to have with everything we do.
Wait a second. So how many of you guys out there that are vloggers have basically been holding a camera out in front of you, vlogging, talking, having the fat chat with your camera, and then you realize that you didn't hit the record button? I know I've done that so many times, okay?
And I've been angry about it.
Yeah, I was like, you just said so much stuff and now you want to say it again? And now you try and say it again and it's not natural, you know?
Or the moment is gone,
yeah.
You missed the moment,
okay,
the epic something that happened.
We won't miss a moment again because the Sony ZV-1 has got a nice big bright red light on it. So when you start recording, on the front of the camera, there's that light that goes on. So it's like you are live. You are ready to go ahead and start recording. So you're good to go. One thing also with this is, speaking about starting and stopping, is if you're going to be using the hand grip to start and stop when you're recording, it saves you in post-production because you're, okay, cool, let me start the camera. All right, cool, let me hold it. Okay, ready.
Especially that bad angle that you get from
yeah,
starting.
You're looking down at yourself and it's like, ooh, nobody wants to see that.
You can start when it's nice.
You start it and you stop it, and that way, when you're actually going and you're doing your post-production, you're editing your vlog, you don't have to go and cut at the beginning at the end. You've already done those hard cuts yourself by pushing the button over here. So many cool things with the ZV-1. It's also got a built-in ND filter. I don't know how many times we've been out in bright situations, and especially if you're going to be filming video, you want your settings to be right. All right. I remember in one of Jacques' talks that he did just a little while ago, as a filmmaker and somebody that understands what video looks like, you can see immediately when it's off and when it's not the right settings for your video, okay? So with the built-in ND filter, you don't have to worry about making your shutter speed like huge so that it, so that it can be done.
Yeah, because as a vlogger, you don't want to have to look at your camera for a long time, find the settings, make everything perfect, because vlogging is fast paced. That moment will be gone.
Yeah.
Like when we're on trips, I can't sit there and be like, okay, everyone wait, like all the animals, just hold your spots. I just want to set this. Okay, is this light right? Let me check. No, you don't have to do that. It's like one button and there we go.
Yeah, it's great. So that's background defocus, as well as the ND filter, and you've got the flip screen. There's just so,
Yeah,
what am I missing? I can talk about this camera for days. Like, I know our time is limited over here. I mean, I could talk about this camera for forever, right?
Be continued on our stories later tonight.
And the guys from Sony HQ, they know how much I love this camera because it was like almost on every 48 hours. Hey guys, I'm just wondering, has the ZV-1 arrived in South Africa yet? Like, Mike, COVID has spoiled this thing coming into the country, so you have to wait. But now they're in the country, so you don't even have to worry. And they're on Black Friday special as well. So.
Yeah. Awesome. So before we proceed with what makes ZV-1 their favorite vlogging camera, and they have all the settings there on the screen currently, I want to cover some questions and some comments that's actually coming through. Some of them I will actually leave to later because I feel like they will still answer these questions. But there's a cool question here. This was on some mention yesterday, but since you've been in Egypt, which is a completely different environment in terms of weather, how does the Sony cameras handle, weather, and do you actually take your cameras in for maintenance? That's a really cool question.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say we take our cameras in for maintenance. What we do is we send our cameras in for sensor cleans because of taking off lenses and putting on new ones. Your sensor does pick up dust spots pretty easily.
Yeah, especially when we went to Egypt with all the sand. Actually, weirdly enough, if you were trying to say, I'm not sure, you were trying to say Egypt was hot. It was not actually hot, it was cold.
Yeah,
we didn't know that either.
We took only summer clothes.
I thought it was going to be warm in February. It was not. It was actually really chilly. So we didn't have any issues with that. But yeah, the dust coming in, constantly changing with all the sand and stuff.
In terms of weather, we have been to some countries where the weather it's challenging, all right?
Yeah,
so Sri Lanka was really humid. And also with Bali and places like that. A little tip, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, is that when you travel and you are in a hot place that is super hot and humid, when you go to your hotel, that AC is pumping, okay? So your camera is sitting there overnight with your AC that's pumping inside your room. As soon as you go outside, your lens is like, whoa, it's just missed it up. It's like,
don't expect to shoot immediately.
Don't expect to. So here's a little top tip for you, that if you are going to be sleeping in a super cold room, maybe try and put your camera into another room where the AC is not on, or just put your camera outside onto the balcony, maybe about 15 minutes before you guys decide to go out and adventuring or whatever. And that way your camera will actually climatize to what it is. But in terms of sending cameras in for maintenance and things like that, the cameras that we use are pretty badass in terms of weather sealing and things like that, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we've never actually had issues.
Yeah, we haven't had a single issue with us.
And we travel a lot, and we're not the best in terms of like always putting it back. It always goes in like over our shoulder in a bag, like quick moving about, and we don't even have like any scratches or anything. So
no, our camera gear is pretty hard, yeah. So.
And then we have a cool question, because I know, Mike, you used this lens just the other day. So this is like I think it's a new fight.
All right, okay. I think I know which lens you're talking about.
Yeah. So Tristan is asking, for glass, which one would be better? The 20mm f1.8G lens or the 6GM, which is obviously on a larger Sony body?
Yeah, okay. So I actually, believe it or not, I have both of those lenses. So the 16-35 sits fuss on our A7R4 most of the time. But while we were out in the bush and I had the A7C with me, I was using the 20mm 1.8 as well as the 16-35 on the camera, okay? Now, if you're going to be using the camera for vlogging, that 20mm 1.8, oh man.
That was beautiful.
Herman, can I order one, please? So to answer your question, I love that lens a lot, okay? I would like to take that lens on an epic adventure where I go shoot a lot of astro stuff, because being able to shoot at 1.8 was really next level. I did shoot one astro shot on the A7C and it came out amazing. So I would like to take that and put it onto some of my other gear.
Yeah, it's definitely a specific lens, I would say, for like if you want to do vlogging, it's great for vlogging, gets everything in and it's not too heavy. Where obviously with the 16-35, if you're going to be using it for, you can't use it for vlogging, it's
you need
heavy.
to work on your vlogging arm.
But the 16-35, that was my wish list lens forever, and when we got it, like, it was amazing. I had never shot wide before that lens, and it was always 24-70, and then I just fell in love with it. So if you want something that's an all-rounder, some people think like it won't be an all-rounder, the 24-70 would be better for that, but I think the 16-35 is perfect for any kind of travel, landscape, video stuff.
Yeah, true. It's pretty durable, especially if you're shooting on a full frame camera as well. So you can put the 16 to 35 on, and if it's too wide, you just shove it into APS-C crop, and boom, there we go. Then you've got a little bit more to work with then as well. But 20mm prime lens, it is super, super cool to have. We don't shoot with prime lenses enough, I think, but I would really like to shoot a lot more with that 20mm. So the 20mm is definitely up on my.
I love the vlogging with it.
Yeah, I loved it as well.
It just looked so beautiful.
Yeah, in certain situations, especially if you're going to be vlogging at night as well, then you can really push that down to f1.8, and with the low lights, you don't have to worry too much. It's just epic. So both lenses are incredible, but it just depends on what you're going to be using the actual lenses for.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect. So we have a bunch of other questions here also, which we will get into later. If you do have some questions, pop them in there. Like I say always, if you've only tuned in now, I'm really sorry because you've missed like 50 minutes of coolness. So, but you're not completely late. There's still some questions and answers. So if you want to ask questions, you're welcome to do them. Facebook, YouTube, wherever you tune into now, you can ask questions. So just to remind you guys, we've already done our raffle draw. Is it Cyphers? I hope this is the correct pronunciation. I'm sorry. Cyphers was the winner of tonight's raffle draw. Tomorrow we have our last one. So if you want to be part of that, you need to register on alphauniverse-mea.com for one of these Black Friday activities. Tomorrow is literally the last one. So tune in for that one, register, and you stand your chance of winning a 2,000 Rand voucher that you can use on top of any Black Friday deal that's currently happening on the Sony products. And with regards to the Sony products that's currently on deal, check it out with your retailer. There's savings up to 12,500 Rand. It's ridiculous and it's very aggressive. So take advantage of it while the stock is still in store. So we're going back into the presentation, the last little bit of it, and then we're going straight into Q&A. So prep for now. There's already a bunch of questions that we're going to run through. Yeah, let's get back into this presentation. Let me just switch over here, and we're still on my face. So what makes the ZV-1 your favorite vlogging camera? This is the current slide that we have on here, and we have all the arrows and stuff pointing there, but I think let's hear it also from a personal perspective from Mike and Carlinn.
Do you want to cover?
Okay, so I think like maybe, let's see, my favorite feature, and I'm not even going to say the soft skin because Mike hates it and I love it so much. So for all makeup vloggers, I used to be a makeup YouTuber back in the day. You guys need to jump on this, okay? Perfect camera for that. And actually for unboxings and everything. It has the quick focus and it also has the product showcase. So if you hold up to the camera, I'm sure you guys have seen on YouTube people that do this and they're holding something up and they're like, is it focused? I don't know, can you guys see this lipstick? So even when we're out and about doing our travel stuff, you want to show the camera something really quickly. You want to focus in and focus out. And it has a product showcase where you can do just that. And it's also cool for unboxings and stuff. So that's really like one of my favorite features other than the soft skin feature. But it's just one of the things that makes it such a cool camera. And every time I pick it up, I just start learning new things about it and start using more things. And they've made it so easy with the buttons. And for someone that isn't that technical, you don't have to like overthink it. You don't need to go study this whole like manual to like see what does what, and then you keep on doing things wrong. So just the ease of use, the size of it, and the nifty little features, I think it just makes it like the complete package for me. And I've been suggesting everyone gets this camera. So please guys go out there and buy one and show me what you guys can do with it, because it's so epic, especially the makeup girls.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not just makeup girls, anyone that does tech reviews or vloggers or any of that sort of thing. I mean, there's so much that you can do.
What's your favorite thing?
Okay, so what you can see on the presentation right now is, like you said, all of the arrows pointing at the camera. Okay, so now that's just pointing at all the little things that I love about this camera that's on the outside of the camera, and that really just showcases what it's all about. Okay, so it's got this 24 to 70 lens on it, which is great. It's perfect width for for vlogging and things like that. You've also got a microphone jack, so that if you wanted more professional sound, you've got more professional sound. Remember the little red light that comes on. Sorry, I'm just recapping on the ZV-1 on some of my favorite features that I love. So knowing that I'm actually recording with that little red light on it, it really is a game changer. And there's been a couple of times where I was like, I am recording. I don't even
Yeah,
know
see,
what about
I
it. So
think everyone
it's
has, once you start playing with the camera,
Yeah.
everyone will find their own little things
Yeah.
that they love about it.
But that skin smoothing,
I should have used it.
I used it on my live the other day. It was
actually,
epic.
I think, Hanman, maybe what you could actually even do is do a test with the, it should have product showcase already switched on. So all you have to do is just put it onto your face over there, and then put that in front of the camera and see how fast it focuses onto, no, and you don't have to play with the buttons. Just hold it up in front of there. So you show
Is
the
it switched on?
product.
Let's
Should
see.
be.
I don't
I don't think
it's
it's switched on. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think
you
it's
actually have to
switched
switch it on to make it work. But generally, as soon as you put it in front, it almost instantly it focuses in on it, and then you put it away, and then focuses on your face.
Yeah.
Because Sony's got epic face and eyeball tracking. Okay. And that's another great feature of the ZV-1, is that it's got the built-in face and eyeball tracking for video as well. So while you're recording and you're actually filming your vlog, if you look at the little screen on the side, which I told you not to do, you'll see that there's a little green square that pops around your eyeball. That means that it's actually focused on your eye, and that you know that your eyeball is always in focus. Okay, if your eyeball is in focus, the rest of your face is going to look beautiful on the footage itself. So there's a lot of things about the ZV-1 that I love. There's a lot of things that I can talk about. Features on the outside, on the inside. There's just so much. But if you're looking to get into vlogging, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that the ZV-1 becomes your first vlogging camera. If you're already an established vlogger, then this is a camera that you, in fact, there's a massive YouTuber, all right, a British YouTuber, I won't mention his name. But yesterday I saw him at a camera shop in Cape Town, and he was shopping for a new camera, and what did he walk out with? He walked out with a ZV-1. And I was so stoked to see that.
I saw him shopping for one. I didn't see what he got.
I
So
saw him
awesome.
and he showed it, and he walked out with the ZV-1. So I'm super stoked that we have an international British vlogger that lives in Cape Town, and he just bought himself a Sony ZV-1, and that's epic. Really, really epic. So I'm stoked to see that.
I have to admit, I'm pretty bleak that I did not put on the face smoothing for myself yet.
Your face looks good anyway.
Okay, so they're pretty much finished with the presentation. So before I hand over completely to the crowd, is there something else that you guys would like to cover before we just jump into these questions? Because there's like so many.
No, I think
we
let's
can do
jump into the questions.
yeah.
I'm
Jump into
excited.
questions. Okay, so let's start with YouTube. Tyrell, would you choose the RX 100 and the ZV-1, so either or, over the smaller, for the smaller jobs, and work then with the A64 for the bigger jobs?
Okay, so great question actually. I would take, so you would have the RX 100 or the ZV-1 for a smaller job, or the A6400 for bigger jobs. Yeah, that's actually basically it. So if you're going to be using an A6400 as your main camera, because it's interchangeable lenses and you can put all sorts of different glass in there, yeah, that's perfect for that. It'll be your main camera, and then you can have as a second camera either the ZV-1 or the RX 100 Mark 7, or even both of them. Because they're so small, you can put them into different setups. So say, for instance, if you are a wedding videographer, you could put an RX 100 somewhere far away, because it's got that 24 to 200 mm lens on it, and it can be recording a scene from far away, even in 4K, all right? That way you've got a lot more to work with. Then you've got your A6400 in your hand, because that is your workhorse. And then you've got the ZV-1, maybe filming something else on the side, or you're doing behind the scenes vlogging, because I've actually seen a lot of wedding photographers out there as well that do behind the scenes vlogs of their wedding shoots itself. So it's a cool little camera to have out there. And if you see something cool happening, just point the camera straight out and get it.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
even
So,
like we did a job, like, was it yesterday, the day before? I can't remember. We're so busy. And we were taking photos with our main camera, and then we had the ZV-1 for some video stuff and our
yes, of
vlogging
course.
stuff, and this is for a campaign. So
yeah, so
it can definitely work.
Yeah,
like
we
that.
juggle like whichever camera we've got closest to us for a specific time. We'll use whatever. So if we're shooting a lot of video stuff with our A7R4 16-35, we're shooting with video. You don't want to change too many settings to go and shoot a photograph, okay? Or vice versa. So you're shooting on the ZV-1, you don't want to change it to photos. You then move over to A7R4, you shoot your images like that. So the same thing would work in your A6400. You would shoot your images with your A6400 and then move to doing some video stuff with the ZV-1. So, I mean, even for video, I would use the ZV-1 for the video, because the stabilization in the actual ZV-1 is just next level. So yeah, I would use that for the video, and then definitely use your A6400 for stills and things like that. It's, yeah, that would be a no-brainer, yeah. So great question, thanks.
And then, have you guys used this 960 frames per second on the ZV-1?
Okay, the 960 frames per second, I have used it. So let me tell you one thing about the ZV-1. I love the super slow motion. Now, when we were doing reviews on the RX 100 Mark 7, it had the same feature in it, so it's pretty much the same, and you can do the same stuff. So you've got 240 frames a second. You've got, what's the one above that? It's 250 frames a second, 500 frames a second, and 1,000 frames a second if you're working in NTSC, whatever that is in PAL, the equivalent. Super, super duper, super, super duper, 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 duper slow motion. It's incredible, but the quality does degrade a little bit when you're going that high. I'd say if you're going to be using the super slow motion on the ZV-1, RX 100, Mark 7, Mark 6, all of that has that feature built into it, the high frame rate, the HFR, then I would highly recommend using the 250 frames a second to get that nice slow motion. But if you're going to be vlogging and you want to really have something cool added into your vlog, then you can totally do that. The quality won't be 1080p, but it doesn't matter, because for the sake of effect, for getting something super slow motion, you can really make it work. And if you wanted to reduce some of the noise to make it look like it's a little bit more H-dizzle, you can totally do that in post-production. So super slow motion, popping a balloon, it was like basically the balloon is just like...
Yeah, it's a little bit, it looked really cool. And for Reels and for Instagram stuff, it's awesome.
It's really rad. So yes, we have used it. It does degrade the quality, but it doesn't matter, because in certain situations it looks super epic. So yeah.
Okay, so we actually have a bunch of comments here saying you guys are rocking it, and there's a bunch of just great comments for you guys to say that you're doing pretty well. So I'm not going to read all of them, but there's a bunch of them. Just wanted to let you know. And then we have a cool question here from Flonny. Which cameras, well, he says camera, but I know it's cameras. Can you explain what cameras you guys actually make use of in your career?
Okay, great question, Flonny. And every single time I think about flying in that airplane in Sri Lanka, I think about you. And I'm so jealous that you have your pilot's license, because I know that it's the same Flonny asking that question. Right? So I just wanted to put that out there. So the cameras that we use, I'll let you talk about that.
We'll use the A7R4, our main baby, all the time for our content, mostly like for our hotel content creation, like the stuff that we do for a living. But like we mentioned, a lot of brands now want video stuff. So we always have like something else that we do, like either the vlogs or the reels. We did a trip recently, and we had the RX with us, and we put it on a really long stick, and we pretended it was a drone, and it was so cool with the steady shots on, and Mike kind of took it over my shoulder. I was in the bath, obviously, as I do. I was in the bath, he took it over my shoulder, and he climbed out a window, and he pushed it like over the balcony with some elephants standing at the watering hole. And people thought it was a drone. So.
And it's pretty cool, because you can put a camera that size onto one of these like really long sticks, and it won't bend. You try and put an A7R4 on.
So yeah, the A7R4 and the ZV-1 and the RX are, I think, the cameras we use
and we also,
most at the moment.
And then the two lenses that we have fixed on our camera at any given time is either the 16-35 f2.8 GM or the, oh man, I love this lens so much, the 70-200 f2.8 GM. So that is for all of our super dreamy, really nice tight shots.
It's actually funny. I was just looking at the lenses, the Sony lenses, and what categories they fall under a while ago while we were sitting over here. And I saw that lens falls under wildlife and sport. And I was like, but it's my favorite travel lens. So you guys just changed that.
We'll just add it in there for travel as well.
So it is really good. Like, it is a bigger lens to carry around, but we definitely make it work. We carry that thing everywhere. It's always in my backpack because we usually have two camera bodies inside Mike's bag, and then I carry that around, but I'll do it. I'll take one for the team because it's such an epic lens, and I'm always asking for photos.
Well, hang on a second. We're speaking about lenses and travel lenses. So one lens that's probably not the best travel lens, great lens, but not a travel lens, especially if you're going to be traveling around Bali and sleeping in different places, like every second night you're moving to a new location and you're there for 3 weeks, is 100 to 400. And that was a great lens, and it was a great idea taking it with us. But Jesus, it was a heavy
But
lens.
we only took 4 photos of it, I think.
Yeah, it was just too heavy to take around with us, and our 60 to 35 pretty much lived on our lens, on our camera when we were traveling.
Yeah, so I think that's a sports and wildlife.
So yeah, but we've shot with the A7R3, we've shot with the A7R4, the A6400, A6100, RX100 Mark 6, RX100 Mark 7, RX0 Mark 2, the ZV1, the A7C, 20 mils. Yeah, we've shot with a lot of Sony gear, and like every single time I get my hands on a new Sony camera, it never disappoints.
We're always so excited.
Yeah, I love Sony gear so much.
So Kesnick is actually asking a question here, and somebody already answered him, Richard. But Kesnick, thank you for also joining today again. I remember you from yesterday. So Kesnick is asking if someone wants to join the Sony family at an affordable price, what would be your suggestions? Then he commented after Richard's answer, he also said, I'm an all-rounder and I want to start a YouTube channel, and I'm also a photographer and videographer. So I think that would be something very cool to cover for him, and also for everyone else that's actually watching.
Yeah, I would highly recommend. I mean, I know that this camera is not on the Black Friday special, but that if you're looking for something like that, the A7C is it's a really good camera, and it looks so sexy as well. but it's a really cool camera. So if you're looking for an affordable way to get into full frame, the A7C, 100%, hands on. I won't even deny it. Yeah. So yeah.
Awesome. So I hope that answers your question, Tristan. I'm not sure if you know the 7C, look into it. That's actually a question that I asked Luke and Shawnee in the Offensa yesterday, was also the 5 steps. Okay. And I wanted to mention there the sexiness. And the 7C definitely brought that into the Sony family to the next level.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice. Then we have some questions that's more related to your work.
Mm-hmm.
Another Richard is asking here, how do you calculate how much footage you need to shoot to make your YouTube videos? And what is the ratio of film versus footage that makes it actually to the video, the final cut?
That's a good question. You can see we're not filmmakers when I answer this. We just get as much footage as you possibly can and make it work.
That is why we have piles and piles of hard drives that always needing
it's something that my filmmaking friends always say to me, Mike, you need to reduce the amount of content that you're creating, like filming, because you're scrolling through so much and so much over here.
Yeah, but we're not even making just vlogs now. Now we're making TV episodes. I think our last vlog was like almost 30 minutes long. And people still loved it. So it's whatever you want it to be, however much you think it's gonna like keep your audience's attention. If you just want to make a 5-minute vlog, sometimes I do, and I'm like, didn't have the most footage for this trip, but we always try and keep it like a few different elements. So there'll be a little maybe time lapse in there. There'll be a little cinematic sequence. So keep that in mind. Cinematic sequence, a little time lapse, and then talking. When you're talking, always remember to have that flow. Don't talk too much, but have like a little intro bit, have a few things in the middle, and then obviously your ending. And in between that, you can have your little cinematic sequences and your time lapses, and then everything will just kind of flow together.
Yeah,
so
because a vlog is basically a story at the end of the day. You're telling a story from the beginning to the end. It's like once upon a time, and then it ends with the end. And in the middle, you've got your story about Red Riding Hood or whatever it may be, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, a vlog is a story, and you want it to have a good flow. So,
and different elements
and different elements to it. So
everyone,
in terms of the ratios and things like that, there's no ratios. I wouldn't want to put it like that. I would just say when we go out and we're looking for footage, we make sure that when I talk about something, or Colin's talking about something, so we're in the bush and there's some elephants behind us. Oh wow, look at these elephants behind us. It's incredible. This one is an orphan, and you tell a quick little story, and then you go into a cinematic sequence, and it looks beautiful. And that's just the way that we like to do it ourselves. Okay, so going into a cinematic sequence, and then coming out of the cinematic sequence, someone new.
And also, keeping the footage not too long. Let's say time lapses. Don't have like 4 minutes of time lapse in your vlog, because people will get bored and they'll go somewhere else. Yeah,
use your time lapses if you're going to add time lapses into your vlogs. Use it wisely. Okay, so also vlogging. I mean, if you're going to be time lapsing, don't go out there and shoot a photo time lapse, because a photo time lapse is going to take you, like on my machine, 10,000 million years to edit, because my machine is a bit slow, right? But rather do video lapses, like a 4K lapse, or if you've got the A7C, put it into S&Q, 1 frame a second, you know, that sort of thing, and then you've got a pretty much a video time lapse ready for you to hit go on as well. So it's about using your camera and filming unique elements for your vlog that fit in there nicely and being clever about the way that you're filming it.
Cool, and then we have one more question that I'm going to direct towards you guys. This is a pretty cool question. Before we get to the question, I just want to mention to everyone, this is the last question that we'll be taking tonight. But stay tuned, tomorrow we have another session. It's specifically about wedding photography and wedding gear related and that stuff. Matt Masson is going to be here with us along with TTL Photography, Fatima and Siraz. And then I want to let you guys know, Cyphers was the winner tonight for the raffle draw. Tomorrow we have our last one, so go ahead and register on alphauniverse-mea.com. That's like a super tongue twister. Every time I say it, I feel like I'm tripping over my words. And then you stand a chance of winning a 2,000 Rand voucher that you can use on top of the Black Friday deals that's currently going, which can go up to the value of 12,500 Rand. So stay tuned for tomorrow. The last one is happening tomorrow. We hope to see you guys there. And now the final question to Mike and Carlinn. What little things, this is from Tristan, what little things do you feel separates you and your adventure travel content from the next person?
I feel, well, Carlinn can answer her side from this, but I feel that's what separates us from everybody else is that, I don't know, we've been together for so long, and we are not like your average influencers / content creators because we're a couple.
I think also we're a bit older.
Yeah.
We've been together for long, and we both bring like different things to the party, and also we gel like well together because we've been together so long.
And there's a bit of a mix of everything that we get up to. So we're content creators in the sort of high-end luxury, going to stay at these 100,000 Rand a night places to create content for them, all the way down to going to camping.
Camping in the middle of nowhere and eating tuna pasta every night.
Yeah, that we made over a fire. So we cover all bases in terms of the stuff that we get up to, so you'll see.
But we always try and stay real, which I think is always a great tip. If you're starting off with vlogging, like really try and just always be authentic. I spoke about this in my last live.
Yeah.
And it's really like such an important part of vlogging, or even just being like a content creator or an influencer. Be real and just be relatable to people, but also put out there what you like, and people will like it as well.
Yeah, and also just online, always just put out good vibes. That's the best. Just put out good vibes, and the good vibes will come back to you. Yeah. So.
It is true. Every single time that Mike sends me a message, he's like, "Happy Thursday, happy Monday." So it's always good vibes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mike Carlinn coming to us, Joburg from Cape Town, just to do this live stream. So pretty amazing. And then, yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow. We're talking specifically wedding photography related stuff with Matt Masson and TTL Photography. And then all the Black Friday things we'll be covering again tomorrow. And then again, last raffle draw is happening tomorrow. Cyphers, I'm really excited to give your stuff to you, and I'll email you tomorrow with your voucher also. So thank you guys so much. And do you guys have something else to say?
No, thanks very much for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it. Oh, don't forget to go follow @CampsPearGirl or Life of Mike Zeta.
That's it. It's down here. If you want to see it, there's Life of Mike. Oh, it's this side. Life of Mike, the Palm Tribe, CampsPearGirl, and then Sony Alpha SA. Thank you guys so much for joining. It was awesome to have you. Thank you so much also for your questions. And hopefully we see you soon again tomorrow. Cool. Stay tuned.